He is the strongest hero in town, able to kill anything with just one punch. However, he has one big problem. He is so shy that whenever a girl touches him, he instantly passes out. Because of this, everyone thinks he's lame and avoids talking to him. The anime begins with the Demon Lord giving his daughter, CL, a mission to assassinate the hero. She happily accepts, excited that she finally gets to go outside. Meanwhile, at the Pleasure Palace, there's a girl named Goa who has the ability to turn any man into her slave. When she hears about a powerful man like the hero living in town, she can't resist the idea of making him hers. At the same time, in a back alley, a famous assassin named Anemone is also given a mission to kill the hero, this time by disguising herself as a priest. She's furious at the thought of wearing such an outfit, but when she hears the reward is 100 million gil, she immediately changes her mind and accepts the job. Later, in the town of beginnings, Fromner, the hero, whose name is Toto, arrives at the Adventurers Guild, expecting people to rush over and beg him to join their parties. In reality, however, no one pays him any attention. Then he suddenly hears a voice behind him. It's the three assassins, all disguised as rookie adventurers, asking him to form a party with them. Of course, none of them are actually working together. Toto, unaware of their true intentions, feels overjoyed. At last he thinks he has his very own party. Everyone else grows jealous and tries to persuade the girls to join their parties instead. But Goa refuses, declaring that she already belongs to Toto, and then steps forward to hold his arm. The moment she touches him, he instantly passes out, shocking the others. Only then do they realize he is shy around women. Seeing an opportunity, Ciel quickly casts a spell and takes the unconscious hero away. The other girls, furious, immediately give chase. Anemone summons her weapon and tries to shoot Ciel down, but Ciel quickly conjures a barrier around herself and Toto, deflecting the attack back at Anemone. As the two battle, Goa intervenes, telling them to stop and talk things out instead. However, neither of them realizes that Goa has already released a paralyzing perfume into the air. When they let their guard down, they accidentally inhale it and find themselves unable to move. Smiling, Goa thinks she finally has the hero to herself. But Ciel warns her that she's making a huge mistake. Ciel was in the middle of casting a summoning spell, and now that she can't move, the spell has been interrupted. Losing control, she accidentally summons the Dark Spider Dragon, terrifying everyone. Ciel and Anemone then demand that Goa give them the antidote immediately, or they will all die. Fortunately, just as the dragon is about to attack, the hero wakes up and saves them, killing the monster with a single punch. The girls are amazed, and without thinking, they hug him, causing him to pass out again. But this time, they decide to let him live for now, since he just saved them. Afterward, they introduce themselves to the hero using fake identities. Ciel the mage, Anemone the priest, and Goa the dancer who wants to adventure for fun. They then look at him expectantly, waiting for his introduction. Feeling shy, Toto tries to present himself in the coolest way possible, but ends up stuttering and simply says, "Nice to meet you," before promising to protect them no matter what. Goa finds him adorable and hugs him again, knocking him unconscious once more. With Toto out cold, the girls reintroduce themselves, this time with their real identities. Ciel, daughter of the Demon Lord, Anemone, the assassin, and Goa, mistress of the Pleasure Palace. All of them have their eyes on the hero. Deciding it isn't worth the trouble, Anemone suddenly stands up, says she's out, and leaves, claiming the pay isn't worth it. However, little did they know, it was a lie. Anemone secretly leaps onto a rooftop to snipe the hero from above. While scanning for her target, she spots a group of slave traders. This makes her furious, and she immediately rushes to the rescue, throwing a smoke bomb at them and managing to free a child in the chaos. She even gives the child some of her own money. Enraged, the slave owner confronts her, demanding payment for the loss. She refuses, and a fight breaks out, but Anemone easily counters every move the man makes. Desperate, he reveals his true form, sprouting tentacles that regenerate no matter how many she cuts. The tide turns against her until the hero arrives just in time, defeating the foe with a single punch. Shocked, Anemone asks why he's there, and he simply replies that he promised to protect her, leaving Anemone blushing. The hero then notices the dagger in Anemone's hand and asks her about it, which makes her panic. Unable to think of an excuse, she blows him a kiss, knocking him unconscious to buy herself some time. Meanwhile, Ciel and Goa witness this and think it's cute, leaving Anemone embarrassed. They then ask Anemone why she didn't just snipe the slave owner from the start instead of confronting him head-on. She tells them to think for a moment. If a child saw a bloody heap in front of them, it would scar them for life. She then glances at the hero and explains that she became an assassin because the whole world is rotten and she intends to change it. To do that, she needs money. As soon as she finishes speaking, she swings her weapon at the hero, trying to kill him again, but she can't bring herself to do it. Seeing this, Ciel and Goa can't help but smile, as if they had expected this outcome all along. Later, Goa takes everyone to a hotel for the night and suggests they all share the same room. Ciel and Anemone refuse, choosing to get a separate room, leaving Goa alone with the still unconscious hero. Smiling, Goa thinks this is her chance. She then takes out a dose of her special medicine and injects it into the hero, believing it will make him completely obey her. However, as time passes, there's still no reaction from him. Irritated, she decides to stop holding back and whips him hard in an attempt to force him into submission. But the plan backfires. The hero suddenly starts to lose control and overpowers her. This surprises Goa, but instead of being worried, she becomes excited. Luckily, before he can do anything to her, the hero regains his senses, blushes, and immediately faints again, leaving Goa disappointed. When Ciel and Anemone hear about what happened, they are impressed by the hero's resistance and casually chat with Goa. This confuses her, and she asks why they aren't afraid of her. After all, she can make someone fall in love with her. But the two just laugh, saying that if that happened, she'd be dead before they even felt anything. Besides, she has already revealed her skills and drugs to them, so there's nothing to fear. Instead of feeling insulted, Goa smiles, happy to be treated normally. Ciel and Anemone then exchange glances and start talking about who's the strongest. They draw their weapons, ready to settle the score, but Goa stops them, pointing out that they'll wake the hero. Realizing she has a point, Ciel suggests another way to decide. She pulls out snacks and a card game she just bought, inviting them to play together. Goa and Anemone can't help but find her action cute, and the three spend the rest of the night enjoying each other's company. Later, when the hero wakes up, he assumes it must have all been a dream because there's no way three girls would want to be in a party with him. But to his shock, when he looks at the bed, he is surprised to see all three of them sleeping there, making him blush again. The next day, Goa woke up to find Ciel and Anemone staring at her with judgmental eyes, shocked at how she could sleep so comfortably. After that, they went to check on the hero, assuming he must still be unconscious from blood loss. Thinking this was their chance, they drew their weapons, ready to decide who would be the one to kill him. Fortunately, the hero woke up just in time, leaving them no choice but to quickly hide their weapons and greet him. However, since they were standing so close, the hero blushed and fainted again. Afterward, they went to the Adventurers Guild to officially register their party. When asked who their leader would be, they all agreed to let the hero take the role. The hero was happy about this, but also nervous. Once the registration was complete, he nervously thanked the guild receptionist by bowing so hard that he hit his head on the desk, causing it to bleed and frightening the receptionist. After that, the hero, Ciel, and Anemone wondered what to do next now that they had permission to start adventuring. Since they had never been in a party before, Goa had no choice but to explain the basics. She told them that adventurers are ranked, from S-rank veterans to E-rank clueless rookies. As for the quests, they can be taken either from the bulletin board at the guild or directly from people offering them. The more difficult quests they complete, the higher their rank will rise. Because they were starting as rank E, only simple quests were available, such as hunting slimes or gathering herbs. Knowing this, they decided to take a quest and get to work. However, Ciel suddenly stopped the hero by hugging his arm, causing him to blush and faint again. She then confronted the others, saying there was no point in doing quests to raise their rank since their real goal was to kill the hero. Goa admitted that it was a fair point and suggested taking on a particularly dangerous quest as a chance to eliminate him. But Anemone disagreed, saying there was no point in adventuring at all. She would rather just kill everyone here outright. As soon as she said that, everyone drew their weapons, ready to fight right then and there. But Anemone quickly changed her mind and suggested they take turns trying to kill him each day. Everyone agreed, and they decided who would go first with a game of rock, paper, scissors. Later, when the hero woke up, he found himself alone on a bench with Ciel. This made him nervous, and he felt he needed to say something to break the awkward silence. He asked her where Goa and Anemone were, and Ciel explained that they had gone to look for quests while she stayed behind to keep an eye on him. Noticing how nervous he was, Ciel tried to get him to lower his guard and asked why he wanted to become an adventurer. The hero looked sad as he admitted that he wanted confidence. He thought defeating the demon lord might give him the courage to talk to people. Ciel was surprised by this answer and said she felt the same way, though for her, it wasn't about confidence. All her life, she had simply wanted to prove herself. She then smiled and told him they should both work hard so they could achieve their goals. The hero nodded in agreement, but then apologized for always passing out. He admitted that he had promised to protect her, yet instead he kept making her worry, and he felt guilty about it. Ciel reassured him, saying she wasn't worried. After all, he had already protected her. Hearing this made the hero so happy that he ended up fainting once again. Meanwhile, Anemone and Goa overheard everything and thought Ciel's behavior was adorable, wondering if she might be in love. Embarrassed, Ciel quickly tried to change the subject by asking if they had found a quest. They said they had and handed it to her. It was from the weapon shop owner. The quest was to investigate the Cave of Lakes and collect the iron ore there. Ciel thought it would be an easy quest and reminded Anemone and Goa about their deal, not to get in her way when it came to killing the hero. They said they understood, but Anemone began to doubt her, asking if she could really manage it on her own and whether she wasn't getting too attached to the hero. This angered Ciel, and the atmosphere grew tense, but luckily, Goa stepped in to calm things down before it escalated further. Once the hero woke up, they immediately set out for the Cave of Lakes. There, the hero let out a big sigh. Everyone assumed it was because he was nervous since this is his first quest, but in truth, he actually found it more relaxing than just hanging around with them. Taking the lead, he guided the way into the cave. As they walked, Goa asked Ciel how she planned to kill the hero. Was she going to summon a wyvern or a golem? Ciel shook her head, saying that would be excessive since he had only just started adventuring. Instead, she summoned a group of slimes to block his path. Anemone scoffed, saying ordinary slimes wouldn't be enough. And she was right. The hero easily destroyed them all with his bare hands. But Ciel only smiled and asked if they had noticed something. The two looked confused, so she explained, both with the dragon yesterday and with these slimes, the hero fought without weapons, relying only on his punches. While impressive, this revealed a weakness, his reliance on physical damage. Small slimes were easy enough to overwhelm, but if he faced a larger, stronger, and more viscous slime, his punches might prove useless. With that in mind, she summoned a much larger slime to attack the hero. This time, the hero's punches had no effect. Realizing brute force wouldn't work, he gritted his teeth and, in desperation, lifted the slime and hurled it against the wall, shocking everyone. But even that wasn't enough. The creature quickly recovered and lashed out, managing to immobilize the hero. Ciel then grinned, certain it was over. There was no way he could break free. But then, the hero suddenly grew angry and shouted at the slime to let him go. His scream was so powerful that it instantly vaporized the slime, leaving everyone frozen in disbelief. Goa then quietly asked Ciel what she planned to do next, but Ciel only sighed and said she was done for the day. After that, they went deeper into the cave to search for the iron ore. When Anemone spotted it lodged inside a rock, she pointed it out to the hero and started looking for a way to extract it. But the hero simply punched straight through the rock and pulled the ore out with ease. Later, when they returned to the weapon shop, the owner glanced at them with little expectation, assuming they had only managed to collect a few pieces of ore. But then the hero surprised him by handing over a bag stuffed full of iron ore. The owner was stunned and deeply impressed, and he immediately asked for the hero's name, expecting great things from him and his party from now on. Hearing this, the hero cheered brightly and told the shopkeeper to count on him. On the way back to the inn, Ciel and the others praised him for his hard work and asked how he had become so strong. To their shock, he admitted it was simply from lifting weights. As they talk, the adventurer from the shop earlier stepped in to confront the hero. He sneered, warning him not to get carried away, since the shopkeeper always said that sort of thing to every adventurer. He mocked the hero as a nobody, telling him not to dream too big or he'd end up dead. Ciel and the others sighed, thinking, if only it were that simple. The adventurer then turned to the girls instead, inviting them to join his party. He boasted about being a D rank and promised to take good care of them. His arrogance only disgusted them, and their cold glares made him panic and flee in fear. Turning back to the hero, Ciel and the others reassured him not to pay attention to those words. But the hero thought what he said was right. He admitted to himself that if his first quest had already been this difficult, it meant he still had a long way to go. Looking at his companions, he realized that without them, he would still be alone. Feeling deeply grateful, he promised himself he would become stronger and more dependable, so they would never lose faith in him. He then bowed to them with a smile and declared that he looked forward to continuing their journey together. They returned his smile and replied, "It's a pleasure." If you come this far, please consider liking and subscribing for more videos like this. Thank you.